people, today I bring you this book. I remember when I read Alexandra Christo for the first time, when she wrote To Kill a Kingdom. I have to say that I completely loved that book, and so I was very excited when she began to say on Twitter and Instagram that she was writing a second book and it has nothing to do with the first one, and that it was a book about magic and crooks and cons and things like that, and it made me think about like Verdugo, Six of Crows. So I was very excited for this book, and I have to say that I did like this book so much. There's a lot of, I don't know if you can see it, post-its that I put them to mark some sentences on places that I loved, and I have to say that overall it has been an amazing read. I wasn't expecting the end at all. Like, yeah, it's shiny. I love this cover. I have to say that I love the book, but sometimes it was a bit on the slow side for me, because there is it's very it has action for sure, but it's a little bit on the introspective side because sometimes most of the times we are told what the characters are thinking in every situation they find themselves in, because I think that most of all this book is about the characters. And we have different chapters narrated by a different character, and we know which character is going to be in the chapter, because we have here their names, and all of them are pretty unique and pretty different, so you can, at least I could, know which character was going to be doing the chapter even if I didn't read the names. So as I was saying, I lost my thread here for a second. There's a book in which there's a lot of thoughts and about retrospection, and sometimes it was a bit too much for me, because I didn't really need to know what was going on inside the character's mind at every second, at every page, and there was times in which that for me was a bit on the downside, because for me it slowed down the action of the book. It was cool to know what they were thinking or what they were made of, but to have it repeated constantly, it somehow dimmed the book for me. It's my opinion. Because there's some times in which one of them, Saxony, regrets not having helped her family when something happened, and we don't need to be reminded of that every page. And there is also one of my favorite characters, and it's called Wesley, and he has some regrets, and he has this position of power, and I don't need to be reminded at every page of what he regrets doing or not doing. The same thing goes for Tavia and all the other characters, so yeah. But I have to say that I love this one. What do we have here? We have a character called Wesley, as I say. He's an underboss. That means they pull kids from the streets, kids that have nothing, no food, no place, no family, and they tell them that if they sell things for them, they are going to be clothed, and they're going to have a house, and they are going to belong to a family. So kids, when they are, kids, they think that this offer is very good, and they don't know that they are selling themselves to the crooks that run the place, and they're going to be some kind of slaves, like working out a debt. It's like the human trafficking in some way. They have these kids selling things in the streets, and when they cover the debt, because when they feed them, clothe them, they incur in some kind of debt, and when they cover that, they are allowed to just continue doing their work, or they can just leave. Some of them decide to stay because, that's everything they have been doing, and they have been corrupted by the system. And others are thinking about the time in which they can pay off the debt and just go live the lives that they want. One of those people is Tavia. Tavia grew up with Wesley, both of them were recruited, and suddenly Wesley went into being one of the underbosses, and Tavia kept on being one of the crooks, one of the sellers. And what are they selling? They're selling magic, because we are in a place we are going to be told what has happened to magic, and I'm not going to spoil anything. But in the moment when we began the book, we find that Tavia is selling magic, dark magic, and that's something that's not allowed. So it's like they're trafficking with drugs, but instead of drugs, it's magic. And Tavia has to sell some kind of magic that she doesn't feel comfortable selling. She doesn't know why, only that when she touches it, it's like, ouch. And well, she finally does, and hell rises. I'm not going to say much, but we have this band of brothers, this merry band of brothers, different characters that have nothing in common with each other, and there are some of them are friends, some of them are acquaintances, some of them are co-workers, and they are going to unite to fight against something that's threatening them all. I have to say, okay, that's maybe it's not the best explanation about what the book is about, because it's about loyalty and the family you choose, not the one you have, about breaking down the expectations, what your family expects of you versus what you really want to do or who you want to be. We are going to find a relationship between two girls, and it's like the most normal thing ever that I love, because I remember there was a time where people were describing LGBTI relationships, and it was like, okay, we are cool because we're doing that, so yeah, no, but in this book it's like it's a regular relationship, which it is. So I love that more and more books are offering this kind of representation. And yeah, we are going to have some kind of romance between two main characters, but one of those from friends to enemies to friends, and I love that one. The book is amazing. I read it in like 3 days. I think I would have read it faster if we didn't have that much contemplation going on inside the characters' minds, because I love that it gave me a sense of who they were inside versus who they were showing the people outside who they were. But sometimes it was like a bit tedious for me just to keep on seeing what everyone is thinking. I wanted to see them doing things too, not only thinking about who they were and where they're going and all of that I said at the beginning. But all in all, I have to say that I really enjoyed this one, and after the ending, like, I really need to know what's going to happen in the second book. So yeah, I would recommend this book if you like Lake Verdugo, Six of Crows, because it's quite similar. And if you like books about all the things I say, magic and having lost magic and dealing in dark magic, having people who are bad and are using dark magic, and people who go as tough people but are really more loyal and more like in discomfort with what they are doing than they seem to. And if you love good characters that are very solid, and you love women just being in the forefront, fighting for themselves without needing anyone, if you like empowering relationships where the people just, as I say, empower each other, you're going to love this one. And the world building is pretty amazing. I loved knowing how everything worked, why the magic wasn't present, why there were casters and what was going on with them, the war of the magic, everything. I love that one. And I have to say, the lovely little map at the beginning, turns out I'm getting to be a sucker for maps, and I love especially this little bat here. I don't know, I love it. So yeah, if you like To Kill a Kingdom by the same author, you're going to love this book because it's so much more. It's very complex, it has a lot of characters, the narrative is amazing, and I love that we have this multiple point of view in which different characters are going to narrate what's going on, because we are going to have a wider spectrum and we are going to learn lots and lots of things about relationships and different places in the realms. And yeah, just pick it up because it's amazing. So thank you for watching. Bye!